Hello and welcome to the whiteboard with me. My name is Mike, my company is Real Extreme. Okay, let's start by talking about the longtail. The best way to explain the longtail is probably to use Amazon.com as an example. So we'll start with a regular bookshop like Barnes & Noble before the internet came along. And what you have is, this is a graph here, and we're going to say that our best-selling book sells 100 million copies up there, and that's our bestseller. Our next best-selling book sells 90 million copies, next best-selling book 80 million, and so on and so forth. And as we drop down the bar, we get more and more books. So along here we've got different numbers of books. All the way down, here's all of our books, until we reach this sort of stage. Let's say down here, we might say 1 million books is the selling point. We've got a false floor across there. And if you're a bricks and mortar business, then if you have a book that sells any less than, let's say, 1 million copies, you're not going to bother keeping that book because it's not in your interest to do so. So what happens when the internet comes along is along comes Amazon.com. Amazon doesn't actually have to stock a book. Instead, it can just put a buyer in touch with a seller. So this false floor is removed. What happens when you remove that false floor is, all of a sudden, you can sell books that only sell not just 900,000, 500,000, 100,000, all the way down to 10 or even just 1 copy. Now, how many books would sell 100,000 copies? The answer is, I don't know exactly, but it's a lot. So as you lower that bar, if you were to put all the same number of books into the same spreadsheet, what actually happens to our previous bestsellers is they sort of start to look like this. That graph drops off very quickly. There's only a very small number of books that sell very large quantities. What you have down here, so here we might have, let's narrow things down, 100 books that sell 1 million copies, and here we might have 1 million books that sell 100 copies. This is the long tail. And whether you have 100 books selling 1 million or 1 million books selling 100, you're still selling 100 million books. So the theory goes there's as much volume in the tail as there is in this section, which is what's called the head.